What'd you learn this week?
Some people call me the space cow.
This week I learned how to do siding, roofing, and bending metal.
I learned how to teach, and I learned how to learn. I learned that West Virginians aren't just hillbillies with no teeth.
What did I learn?
What I learned this week was how to work with other people and get along.
Okay, what I learned this week is that when we truly listen to God, He will direct us where He wants us to be.
What did I learn, you say?
What I learned this week is that it's just great to, it's awesome to tear things apart, but it's also good to help other people and do good stuff,
What I learned this week was how to love God more.
Alright, so what did I learn this week? Well, literally, I learned how to roof a lean-to. It was actually kind of fun. I got to watch my brother and Kevin in particular in action, and it was really interesting to kind of watch their brains working together and building that lean-to. So that was really fun, and they were very patient with me. They taught me how to drill and not screw it up. That was Sue.
Well,
I learned how to put on a roof and how that you have to put like furring strips down first, and then you have to put on the metal, and then you have to screw them all in.
I learned a lot, and it's probably too much to say, but I learned about Tammy and Tim that what we did was something that they couldn't do. And I was a little perturbed about the enabling and things like that, but we weren't enabling them. They were both on disability. They lost their house. They were able to purchase one of the houses that were available, even in the bad condition that it was in, and they couldn't fix it. And we were able to do things that they couldn't. I learned a lot how to raise a house, how to put a flooring down, and how to put the outside of a house back together again.
this week, I've learned, since this is my 4th mission trip, and this was probably the most different type of project we've done, that these kids are pretty much capable of completing anything, any project, whether it's yard work, working with kids, or like this week, doing construction. They can do everything.
Okay, what I learned this week is that you trust God with where you're supposed to go, and with who you're supposed to go with, and with what to bring and with what to release, then He will take care of all of those details and all of your needs. I also learned how to put siding on a house, and how to help with a roof, and how to measure and cut and use power drills, and it was really cool.
I learned how to put a roof on.
I also learned that this is the 2nd year that this church has opened up its doors to the community, or to other churches to come in and stay. I, by chance, was able to see one of the couples that come in on a weekly basis and vacuum the sanctuary, and she said, "Please help me understand why you're here and what you learned." And I told her about Gary and the family across the street. And she said, "Thank you." At the end, I was able to explain, and Kristen was able to explain too, also the other mission trips that we've been on. And she said, "Thank you for sharing, because I didn't quite understand why we were opening our doors to these people and how important it was to not only our community, but for also all the other people that are on these mission trips and what it means to them." So that was really powerful to me.
What'd you love about this week, Nick?
What did I love about this week? Well, we got to do construction, That's awesome. A little better than what we've done in the past.
What I liked about this week was that we could share the love of Christ with others, even if they didn't either believe or they haven't been to church in a while, through them, us helping them with their house.
What I loved is that Gary and Anna were so willing to teach us, and Gary was really patient with us. I mean, sometimes it was hard because we didn't know what we were doing, but he tried his best to be patient with us, even though we had no idea what we were doing.
And what I loved about this week was I love doing carpentry and helping people and redoing their floor.
What I loved about this week is just watching how everybody shared and cared and poured their hearts and souls out to each other and to the two families that we served.
What I loved about this week was being able to help people that were in need.
Yeah. This week was very nice. I love the connection and relationship that we all formed with Gary. It was a great experience to be able to fix his and Anna's house, and I'm glad we were the ones there to help.
I loved seeing the impact that we were able to make in just a week's time. Not even a week's time, just 4 days. It rained out one day, didn't matter, we still got the project done. Seeing Gary's face made it all worth it.
That's a hard one, just because I feel like this was probably the best week thus far out of the last many we've done. The group has grown emotionally, mentally, and relationally. So there's a lot of love. There's a lot of care, and I just love being a part of that family. It's been very special the last few years. Getting emotional.
I love doing the physical labor and working on the house this week.
I loved that our group got to bond together and we got to meet up again after a year.
What I loved this week was how the 26 of us were able to get together and to rebuild two families' lives, and just by doing things together as a group and joining together, overcoming our conflicts and everything else that we had. And then it really ended as a great week, and everybody is loved as a family, which is awesome, and it's really loved about the fact that Gary is now number 27.
I love seeing the difference we made not only in the house, but the people that lived in the houses.
What I loved about this week was just seeing the energy of the whole group coming together, working together, getting things done. And I also really loved watching people sit and talk to each other with intention and focus and heart, and non-judgmental and just loving each other, including the people we were helping and meeting this week.
What did this week mean to you?
Well, sometimes you just gotta send it.
This week meant a lot to me because it was my fifth and final mission trip with the youth group and my second family.
So what this week meant to me was just spending time with the youth group and coming closer together as a family.
And I loved just this whole week.
And what did it mean to me? I mean, kind of goes together. Yeah, these last few years have been wonderful and just have changed my life in the best way possible. These youth, these adults, just mean the world to me, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. They helped me. It's helped me get through a lot, and it's helped me to become who I am, and I like who I am. So I really appreciate it, and I love all of these people. And I'm going to miss you seniors. I love you all so much.
And what I liked the most about this week was being able to do hands-on work.
The work we did this week was hard but very rewarding. I'm happy we could do this for Gary and his family. And this week was special because it was a year since the flood and they finally got their house back to normal.
I'm glad that we could be the ones to do this for them, and we had tons of fun and it was a great week.
What this week meant to me was just taking time away from work and personal life and just serving in a whole different way.
This week was an amazing week for me. I think it's really special that we got to work for and alongside Gary as we fixed his house. I am honored to have gotten to know, learn, and laugh with Gary. I will forever remember the work we've all put forward into changing their lives.
This past week meant the world to me because I not only got to see 25 of my favorite people in the world, but even better, I got to see them working together and spreading so much love to Gary and Anna through our mission work.
What it meant to me was how God brought us all together for this place, for Gary, for the things that he has gone through this week of losing his aunt and his daughter going to jail. How much being there for him, not just for his house and to rebuild, and today is his anniversary of 1 year ago today he lost his house, but how a bunch of Northern Hicks can help out West Virginia people to not just rebuild their lives here physically, but also provide them support and group hugs emotionally for the devastation that they're going through day after day after day. And seeing the smile on Tammy's face when she saw her kitchen floor being completed, she just like beamed and was so excited. She said, man, I really like that. And I think that's one thing that she's had a hard time saying about her house in the last year.
What it meant to me was that we were exactly a year ago, and to see that the fact that people's houses have been like picked up and just carried off, and other people's houses were just sitting there still, and that they were like still helping each other, like build each other's houses up, and the community was really brought together by this, and that they were all helping each other.
The week meant a lot to me because we haven't seen each other in a year, and it's just a really good time to meet up and get together again.
What this week meant to me, I can't even begin to tell you, and I'm not going to start crying. So, this was my 6th mission trip with CPC, and it was a really, really special one. And it meant a whole lot to me and to our church, and you should all be really proud of the youth and the young adults of our church, because they're amazing.
I mean, this week, out of probably comparing it only to New Jersey, was the most connected I felt to our projects. Getting to work with Gary on his house and seeing where it came from and to where we got it, it just meant a lot, and you could tell it meant a lot to him, and getting to actually work with him every day, it was just a really awesome experience.
I agree.
I agree.
Just gotta send it.